Hey, Menelect. Hey, John. You ask what's going on, Dana? Well, not a lot, except that I'm going to talk about Tarantino movies tonight. Um, I actually feel like I'm getting that scratchy throat again, so hopefully my voice holds out during the duration of this stream tonight. I fully had planned earlier to do this on Tuesday night, like normal, since I've been doing these Tarantino streams. And I was just so wiped out and felt like overwhelmed and had so much to do after work was over that I thought, maybe I should wait till Wednesday. Because I hadn't even had a chance to refresh myself. Um, Sorry for adjusting my camera here, guys. Um, I hadn't even had a chance to refresh myself on both of the movies that I was going to be covering. Um, John, you say you see Sick on Peacock yet? It's not bad. A good modern slasher. Honestly, is that the one that has the COVID angle in it? Because you're probably going to think I'm crazy, especially since I like Skinamarink. But I didn't much care for it. Steve was watching it. I can't 100% say that I was there for every scene of the movie. Um, but I did see the majority of it. And I think towards the end of it, I actually got to sit down and actually focus on it. But yeah, I didn't much care for that one. If that was the one that had the COVID angle to it. Um, John, you also say, I know you covered Jackie Brown already, but that's a great movie. The ending is done well, where he reflects on his decision to leave with her or stay. Um, yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you watched my stream where I did cover it, but I was talking about the fact that it had been a while since I watched it, and the very first time that I watched Jackie Brown, I wasn't that into it. And then I waited a little bit and watched it again. And I was like, this is a really great movie that Tarantino put out. And of course, Pam Grier is awesome in it. Um, but yes, I totally agree with you that it's a great movie. And the ending, I do like the ending really well. Robert Forster's character is, I know it's mostly about Pam Grier's character of Jackie Brown, but Robert Forster's character, I just don't think that movie would have worked if they didn't have Robert Forster in that role, because he just nailed the character of Max Cherry in that movie, the bail bondsman. I guess I missed that part. You say you laughed at them using Pamela and Jason, very much a homage, I bet. And I'm sure it was, but I guess I missed out on that. I'm sure Steve clued in on it. Um, Johnny said, "Yeah, I don't think people really appreciated the tribute to the '70s and that black exploitation thing as much as they would now. He was ahead of the time on his idea for it." Yes, and a lot of people, and I mentioned this before, but a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, but several people had accused Tarantino over the years of being a ripoff artist. And I just don't think that's fair. Because you can't completely call somebody a ripoff artist that puts his own spin on things. And I think that Tarantino does that. He may borrow quite liberally from some other movies, but I don't consider him a ripoff artist in any way, shape, or form. But I have heard variations of that term, rip-off artist, used when some people talk about Tarantino. But I do agree with you that he was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time in many, many ways and many different movies. And I also feel like Tarantino um had his finger on the pulse of the movie going public at the time. Um and I'm talking about like true fans. Um and I'm sure he has more fans now than, well, did I lose everybody? It's telling me I got 0 people in here. Uh so I must have blabbed too much and lost everybody. But I'll finish that thought. Um, well, John, you're still in here. Cool. Um, but I just lost my whole train of thought. I was watching those numbers up there. Hey, X Ray. Um, John, you say you don't think he's a ripoff at all. He's just a real talented fan director. Yes, exactly. I like he's paying tributes versus ripping off. Exactly. See, John, you get it. But I think when Tarantino first burst on the scene, I don't think a lot of people saw it that way. Um, but I do agree with you that now people, I think, have a greater appreciation for Tarantino and his work, past and present. Uh, so we've got 3 people in here right now, and I know John's in here, and I know X-Ray's in here, and I suspect Menelette may still be in here. We may not have as many tonight as we would have if I had went on and done it on the normal night that I have been doing these. Um, but I'm still gonna do this, and hey, Dirk's in here. John, you say, yeah, nobody is original at all. We all rip each other off. Ha ha. Exactly. Dirk says Tarantino introduces people to a lot of obscure films and he does his stuff out of love for the movies. Exactly, Dirk. I mean, it's clear to me that John, you get it. Dirk, you get it. I think even X-Ray gets it based on what he's saying. He said Spielberg and Lucas spent a good chunk of their early career ripping off old ass movies, but Tarantino gets shit on. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think we get the best of both worlds with Tarantino because he seems to have like John said, he's a fan director. So he puts in his movies all the things that we, as fans, if we got to be directors like him, we would be putting in movies. And it truly is out of his love for movies that he would put these little things in there that not necessarily always an aha moment, but you you could see he genuinely loved the movies and wanted to give back to the movie going public. And I'm talking about movie fans, genre fans, not just your casual moviegoer. And I think probably the casual moviegoer were the ones that were saying he was a ripoff artist, or, didn't have much talent and on and on and on. This guy obviously had studied the movies before he became a director. He didn't just watch them, he studied them and he enjoyed them. And then when he got his chance, excuse me, when he got his chance, he was able to um, not only put that fan reflection into his movies, but also um, I think he really got a chance to hone his craft before he actually became a director. And I think that is something we don't see a lot of. We definitely don't see that now, in my opinion. Um, people are just putting out just, and I know Steve gets on me all the time, but it truly, I'd say at least 85%, and maybe you guys think I'm being harsh here, but 85% to 90% of what's put out now, in my opinion, is garbage. And that's where it should stay, in the garbage. But instead, uh, these the generational gap or whatever it is, for whatever reason, I hate to keep, bless old Curly Jaw's heart. He he's a good guy. He's a fun guy. I like having him on the streams and stuff. But his generation, and probably a generation or two before, and then generations after that, um, leading on up into current generations of young people and the people that are going to the movies most often. Um, there's just some kind of disconnect. I'm not saying they're stupid. Um, I just don't really know how to describe them. But as long as they keep going to see these garbage can films, I call them, then these things are just going to keep multiplying. And, it's going to be like rabbits or kittens or something like that. They're just going to keep multiplying. um, as long as people go to them, as long as they're plunking down their hard earned money for this stuff, that's the majority of what we're going to get. Durkee said Tarantino introduces people to a lot of obscure films, and he does his stuff out of love for the movies. Exactly. I may have read that one. Sorry if I'm repeating. I'm trying to go back and catch some of these. Johnny said, I'd love to see Tarantino's vinyl collection. I heard he has a lot. Oh, I would too. I definitely would. John, you say he's exactly what we wish Rob Zombie was. Exactly. Hey, Darren. Actually, you say cinema took a nosedive after 2010. Yeah, I would say probably around that time period. Yeah. Um, John, you say new films. I look at it like I'm covered in shit already. I'm just looking for random diamonds in the shit, and they do pop up. They do pop up. I'm not gonna deny that. Um, but most new horror films don't touch old ones. No, exactly. I wish that was something I could get Steve to understand. Johnny said there's way more quality non-horror films than horror films. I would agree with that too. Darky say early 2000s were rough. I feel it's better than not every film, but we're getting new ideas, not the reboot bullshit. Yeah, that is a good turn of events. Johnny said the best newer films I think are more in the drama or thriller category. Even the superhero ones are lamer lately. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Um, and I'm very choosy when it comes to the superhero ones. There's only certain ones. Some people want to watch every one that comes out, and Steve watches most everyone that comes out. I mean, yet he might not go to the movies for every one of them, but he pretty much watches all of them. I don't know how I can keep up with that stuff. This is like how many television shows or cable shows or whatever, or on the streaming channels that have these shows. I don't know how he keeps up with so many of them. It just seems like there's 5 or 10 new ones every week or something. Dougie said, "We've had time to sift through all the older films. We'll do the same in another 20 years." And you're probably right about that, Dirk. So, before I get, you guys keep chatting in here. We're having a good discussion in there. Um, but before I get started with the Tarantino movies tonight, I did want to remind everybody that I should be doing a My Dinner with De Palma tomorrow evening. I have no idea what food product I will be eating. I've got to watch Murder a la Mod, and I believe Greetings was the other one I'm going to watch. Now, I don't know how many of you guys will be interested in these because these are some of um, De Palma's early works, but you might like some of them, and it might, as I talk about them, it may pique your interest a little bit. You might want to take a gander at them. Now, Murder a la Mod, I did not know this till I saw somebody doing a review, um, that or either that or I'd forgotten. But Murder a la Mod is actually included as a special feature on the Criterion release for Blowout. So I thought, oh well, that's easy enough. I'll just pull out my copy of Blowout and I'll watch Murder a la Mod. Um, And I also wanted to remind everybody that I will be doing a watch along for the original My Bloody Valentine Saturday evening or Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, barring anything happening. So, um, if anybody wants to join me on the stream for that, feel free. I'm still hunting up a decent copy online. John, if you know where I can find a decent copy online, sometimes you're better at finding those free links than I am. Uh, just pass it over my way and I'll use that. Um, there's not a good one on YouTube, obviously. Somebody had the full movie, but everybody they had to slow the dialogue down and they had to show it really small on the screen. And when everybody talks, it sounds like they're on Quaaludes or something. Not good. Uh, yeah, John, I still need to watch Glass Onion. You say that was a great newer movie. Same with the new Dune movie. Hey, Blissful. Darky said, I really liked Brandon Cronenberg's new film, Infinity Pool. Um, I'm trying to remember if Steve saw Infinity Pool. He may have. X and Pearl, and I'm excited for Maxine. I am too. I really am excited for that one. Blissful says, hi, everyone. Danny said, I try to watch the newer stuff, and 9 times out of 10, I'm disappointed. People are jumping on half decent films and overhyping them. Yeah, I agree with that too, Darren. I think I just got something on Facebook. Oh, bless John's heart. He's the man when it comes to that. Uh, that was fast, John. John actually sent me a link for My Bloody Valentine. So that will probably be the one I am using. So thank you again, John. Bliss, what you say? I really liked X. I did too. And I like Pearl as well. Darky said, I don't pay attention to what people are saying. I say it all the time. I have to reserve judgment for myself, not prejudge what I haven't seen. And that's good good to go on, because yeah, there are a lot of things that come out that I don't like to necessarily hear what people are saying about them. Like Skinamarink, for instance. I mean, I didn't mind that people came in the live stream and said, "Hey, dang, it's a piece of shit. Look out for it," you know. But other than that, I tried to stay away from any reviews, any video reviews, or anything that anyone might have done before I actually watched the movie. John, you said, "Yeah, I got one from Internet Archive. I'll DM it to you." Yeah, you were super fast about that. Now, John, speaking of the Internet Archive, unless I can find a direct link for it, like if I do a Google search and it says it's at the Internet Archive, I can't find jack shit like doing a search on there. So I'm just wondering what I'm doing wrong. Like, do you actually go and do a search, or do you just on Internet Archive, or do you merely do a Google search and it pops up in that? Blitz, what do you say? Texas is being mean. I got a gift from him today and I can't open it. I know it's going to be amazing. And I bet it is going to be amazing. I honestly, I don't know what it is. He hasn't said anything to me or anything. Is he making you wait until Valentine's Day, Blissful, to open it? John, you say you got to do a Google search exactly. Okay. Because I actually went to the Internet Archive and tried to search for stuff, and I could not find Jack on there. So no, just a few days. So he's not making you wait completely until Valentine's Day. Um, okay. So y'all keep chatting in there. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first Tarantino movie that I'm covering tonight, which is Kill Bill Volume 2. Okay. And first off, I don't hate Kill Bill Volume 2, but Kill Bill Volume 1, in my opinion, was just so magnificent that for me, Volume 2 kind of pales in comparison. It's got some great fight scenes in it, no doubt. But one of the things I wanted to bring up right off, and it really sunk in when I was rewatching it before I did the stream. That I guess I had just kind of forgotten a little bit about it. Okay. So if you had not seen Kill Bill Volume 2, you might want to um, step out of the room, or, and this little thing is coming up, this little, yeah, I don't know. My Wi Fi has been like a pain in the ass today, and we hadn't been having trouble with it at all. So I don't know if it's an AT&T thing or what, but basically, when I was working with somebody, and Steve said, "Well, just hook it up with an Ethernet connection and do it wired." And I said, "Well, I can, but I'm probably gonna have to get an Ethernet cable." But anyway, um, it was unstable and it was breaking the connection. So I hope that the connection does not get broken um, at this point in time. But I thought I had a wired connection for my computer, so I don't know exactly what that is, but hopefully it won't mess anything up. Um, but so you might want, if you have not seen Kill Bill Volume 2, you might want to walk out of the room or plug your ears or whatever before I say this. So, Dirk, you say it's a little laggy, but not too bad. Yeah, I don't know. like I said, I don't know if it's an AT&T thing, if they're having some issues or what. I didn't really have time to check with AT&T today to see. Um, I do apologize for that because we weren't having any problems as far as like us doing these live streams. I wasn't having any problems working remotely from home, but today has just been one of those oddball days. Um, so the picture of the stream is low quality, Darren. Shit. Oh man. It looks good on my end, but I'm sure it just doesn't look as great on y'all's end. Um, so oh, let me slide back here and look at the router for a second, or modem rather. Oops. Gonna see if all the lights are on. What I probably need to do, and I'm not gonna do it now, in the middle of this live stream, is probably power cycle that damn thing. Um, well, the weather, we've got a wind advisory, Blissful, and it is raining, but usually that doesn't mess with it. But yeah, I don't know. So sorry, guys. Bear with me a little bit. Maybe it will improve the later it gets. Um, but if it doesn't bother you guys too much, I will keep at it. Oh, it's good now. Yeah, well, I don't have the. I'm gonna kill Sammy because I hear him barking back there. I may have to step away. Brandon's been having some more mobility problems, and if he's knocking around, Steve's already asleep. Of course, it's 8:30 Eastern time. He's already asleep, but yeah. So hopefully I won't have to go back there too much. But if Sammy keeps barking, I may have to step back there and see what's going on. See if Brandon's having some issues or something. But so anyway, and I'm going to go back and check these. Hold on, guys. So sorry. I'm going to step away and see what's going on. Sammy. Be quiet. Poor Brandon, bless his heart. He goes from one bed in the bedroom to the other. Reggie's got a bed and Brandon's got a bed. And so he, if both beds are empty, he kind of goes back and forth. Um, yeah, Sammy gone, wake Steve up. Yeah, and then Dana will get in trouble. Actually, she said Gramps Benningfield took his nighttime meds and is off to the land of Nod. Steve is speaking of Gramps Benningfield. Steve told me today that he was thinking of going on and retiring at 62 instead of waiting, but he's going to look more into it. I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, back to Kill Bill Volume 2. What I was going to say was that all these battles that she goes through within the two movies with the other members of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. And when her ultimate goal is to kill Bill, and she takes him out so easily. And I was like, oh, come on. What is this right? This just doesn't seem right. And, maybe Tarantino had his reasons for doing it that way. But I just felt like that was a weak ending to what started out to be a fascinating couple of films. So now that I said that, I'm going to go back up here. John says, some are harder than others. I remember trying to find that shitty Burt Reynolds slasher movie from the 90s, and it was hard. Dirk, you say, I think if you go into a movie with no expectations, it's a better experience. And you're like me, Kill Bill 1 is the better one, in my opinion. Blissful, you say it was better. Terry said that now it's called better. LOL. Uh, Dirk says it's fine. Karen says it's good now. Um, oh well, thank you, Dirk. I'll stand up and let y'all see the full thing. I did this for one of the other streams, but there's pretty much the complete shirt. And of course, this is a Fright Rag shirt. I know. Spend too much money. I give too much of my hard-earned money to Fright Rags, don't I? I also bought that board game, the My Bloody Valentine board game. So I spent way yonder too much money. Actually, you say Steve should retire. He fought hard for his country in World War II. He really took it to those chaps. Oh my gosh. Actually, you say, I don't think he could have topped the battle against the crazy 88s or the trailer battle with one eye. He blew his load. And maybe that's what happened. John, you say, I kind of see them both as one movie, but I guess I prefer part two. And that's interesting, John. And I like that we have a little bit of differences of opinion on that. You say mainly because of the drama of the end and the acting. Dirk, you say, yeah, I wanted a badass finale fight with Bill, and the excuse Carradine was too old. I call bullshit. That's what stunt doubles are for. Johnny said, but the first is better for action and choreography and the cool black and white scenes. I mean, both of them definitely have their merits. I would just have to say that if I had to pick a favorite, I would say Volume 1. And I mean, there were certain, like the whole the bride versus Ellie Driver thing, or Beatrix. Oh, I slipped and let her name out, didn't I? Beatrix Kiddo. But she's referred to as the bride during the majority of both films. But her fight with Ellie Driver is just amazing. When she ends up pulling her other eye out, the one that Paul May did not pull out, and then just basically leaves her there. It's like screaming and hollering and stuff. Um, but Something else I liked about this one is it seemed to focus more, I guess, on the story itself, and I did appreciate that. Um, it wasn't just, fighting, 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 fighting. It was, more of a story. So it gets a plus in my book for that part of it. Durkee said, I buy from Fright Rags, Gutter Garbs, and Cavity Colors. I need to start getting some things from both Gutter Garbs and Cavity Colors. I just haven't gotten around to it. Johnny said, part two is more of a character study. Exactly. Part one is more of a straight up kung fu movie. Exactly, John. You hit the nail on the head with that. Blissful, you say, I've been looking for my dog. He's 14 and I think a ninja. Holy cow. Have you found him yet, Blissful? X-Ray says, what's funny is there's a way to counteract that five-finger death palm shit in the movies. It ripped off executioners from Shaolin and Clan of the White Lotus. Johnny said, I think in a way he knew he couldn't just do the same thing in one and two, so he had to end it differently. It ends different than we expect it to. Exactly. Plus, we say, yes, he was chilling out in the pantry. LOL. Well, I'm glad you found him. I sometimes think my dog Reggie, he's not old, but he's so quick. It's like he's some kind of silent ninja. All of a sudden, he can be calm and seem like he's just chilling, and then just wow, he wants to jump on your head or something. But he's trying to play. He doesn't want to hurt anybody or anything. Um, so I think the majority of us agreed on these different aspects of the comparison between Kill Bill Volume 2 versus Volume 1. I feel like most of us, or all of us, are on the same page pretty much with that. Oh, holy crap, it's Uncle Rad. Uncle Rad's going to come in here and insult everybody and probably insult Uncle Bill. Right now, he's just saying holler. So your dog's mad at you, Blissful, because you groomed them? Yeah. You would think they would like that. They're getting pampered and stuff. Dirk says, I did see an interview with Tarantino about Kill Bill. It was originally going to be one film, but he couldn't stop writing. Yeah. I think I may have seen that interview. Yeah, Uncle Rad says, shit on all of ye. Blissful says, oh no, here comes trouble. Yeah. I was hoping maybe, Uncle Bill would be on the maybe Uncle Rad can give Uncle Bill a message and let him know that I would like to see Uncle Bill be on the My Bloody Valentine watch along if he can. Uh, oh, Uncle Rad says, kill Uncle Bill is more like it. No, Uncle Bill's, for the most part, Uncle Bill's a nice guy. So, so we don't want to say bad things and do bad things to Uncle Bill. Uncle Rag, can you tell Uncle Bill to get his ass in here? Maybe you two could duel it out in the chat there. So, wow, we got 15 in here. That's a lot for me. You say, Uncle Bill told me he wants to do the My Bloody Valentine watch along, but he's a big pussy. Well, I don't think that's true that he's a big pussy. Oh, that's okay, Texas. You say, "Hey, Dana, I've been listening. Just waiting for my friend to come pick me up. I've got another follow-up to my surgery tomorrow morning." Well, I appreciate you dropping in and listening in, Texas, and I hope your follow-up goes well. Yeah, Wes, you told me that last time, or maybe a couple of times before. Have you thought any more about doing the series on Pupi Avati? There's something about Pupi. I I did think about it, Wes, but I'm not sure that I know enough about that person's films to do you know, a several streams on them. Uncle Rad thinks that's funny. Okay, so um, again, like I say, these little mini retrospectives are not meant to be super long streams, and so you guys can feel free to keep talking about Kill Bill Volume 2, even though I'm going to move along to this is, and you guys may laugh or disagree with me, and that's fine. But I think the next movie, Death Proof, one half of the Grindhouse spectacular. That one has to be probably, and I don't really know how to pinpoint why this is. It's got to be my all-time favorite Tarantino film. And you guys might be shocked by that because Tarantino's put out his output uh there for a while was just bam bam bam. He was hitting it out of the park on just about everything. Actually, you say Pupi Avati is Italy's premier baklava director. Oh, trust me, you don't want longer streams, Wes, with me on them. Nobody wants that. But the last one that Uncle Bill was on with me, we went on for almost 4 hours. Durkee said the Dead Pit will give the Rad Pack some wedgie rips and drop kick their asses out of the ring, brother. Minimum of 3 hours, Wes. Wow, X-Ray. I thought that some people might not like it of it, but you fucking hated Death Proof. I can respect it. I was just kind of surprised. Um, John, you say Pupi Avati is the number one director ever. Pass the lasagna. Okay, you guys are getting me pumped for some Pupi. So, um, but I probably won't call it. There's something about Pupi. If I do this, I will probably try to come up with something else. Daring you say, Pubi's The House with the Laughing Windows is one of the best Jallos. Yeah, and that's one that I've really heard of, but I can't remember if Steve and I have actually watched that one. It's pronounced poopy. Is it really in that pronounced poopy? Okay. Well, I feel kind of weird saying poopy lives. Johnny said, let me tell you the worst thing about Death Proof, those girls. I was rooting for Kurt to just get all of them. Okay, so let's get this out in the open. And some of you guys have probably heard me express this before when talking about Death Proof. Okay, so me and Steve are totally different when it comes to which group of girls that we like. Steve likes the Austin chicks. The one was that almost said Cheryl Ladd. Jordan Ladd was in Rosario Dawson, um, or not Rosario Dawson. She was with the other ones. But definitely the one that the group that Jordan Ladd was in, the Austin girls. And I prefer the Tennessee girls, the ones with Zoe Bell, Rosario Dawson, uh, and that group. Those are the ones that I really think are kick ass. Other than what is it, Mary Elizabeth Winstead? She's kind of the outsider when it comes to the kick ass ones. And naturally, she gets left behind with the guy that's selling the white Challenger. Um, but I was kind of rooting for Kurt to definitely get Jungle Julia. Sorry, I did not like Sidney Poitier or however you pronounce it. Um, I wanted him to get her because she was a bitch. And I didn't I and sort of annoying. Um, but I did love Kurt Russell in this movie as well. He was great. Um, but I can see, people finding maybe possibly both groups of girls annoying. Um, I thought the Austin girls were definitely more annoying than the Tennessee ones. Johnny said, I love the Smokey and the Bandit look at the camera scene. Exactly. When he's about to give a ride to Rose McGowan. Yes, I did love that. Breaking the fourth wall there. Actually, he said, I wanted Stuntman to win as well. The first group of girls were the worst. So, Wes, you're saying Steve didn't like Death Proof at first? Wow. I guess I missed out on that. I guess by the time we started dating, he had jumped on the Death Proof train. Dirt says poopy. Oh, okay. Planet Terror, he liked better at first. Okay. Actually, so I'm legit looking at Poopy's filmography. His movies look pretty baller. Probably one of those hidden cult directors. Could be. How about next to the big old pile of poopy? Oh gosh. Sorry guys, I've had that cough today. Well, generally I've been trying to pick the titles of movies and kind of changing them to have the director's last name in it. Like My Dinner with Andre became My Dinner with De Palma. There's something about Mary became There's Something About Tarantino. So let me look into that, Wes, and maybe I can come up with something. No, Zoe Bell ain't from Tennessee, but she was visiting the Tennessee girls in Death Proof. No, she is Kiwi. She's from New Zealand. I met her several years ago. She's really cool. Actually, he said Death Proof also had Eli Roth. It was during the whole period Tarantino tried to make Eli Roth cool. I hated that. Yeah, and I did not like Eli Roth's character in Death Proof, and I still didn't like his character because that was still the cocky ass Eli Roth. I like the Eli Roth now that was on Joe Bob's last drive-in. That Eli Roth seemed like a true fan of movies. Um, the Eli Roth that was around the time of Death Proof and just a little bit earlier um, just seemed like an asshole to me. And maybe that was just him putting on airs or something. Uncle Reggie, who's cool? Eli Roth? Oh God, Jungle Julia. That if I had to pick the the worst character, and she might be a very fine person in real life. Um, but I did not like the character of Jungle Julia. I just wanted to smash a fist through her face or something. Um, just because of how bitchy and overbearing and all of that stuff she was. Uh, Darren, you say I love Death Proof as well. Well, thank you for being on the Death Proof train, Darren. X-ray, you say too much fucking feet in that movie too. Tarantino's fetishes are vile. Uh, Texas, you say Dirk. What was that movie you mentioned from Severin that had the video nasty documentary with it? Oh yeah, I've forgotten which one that was too. Johnny said that chase scene at the end it is in Lebanon, Tennessee. LOL. That's literally so minutes from here. It wasn't filmed there. I can tell you that. Yeah, I mean, literally, especially the scene, the chase scene that you're talking about. Actually, is looks like California all over the place to me. It doesn't look like Tennessee at all. Turkey say she's from the down under. Darren, you say, I get why people think it's too talky. Yeah, and that was something that I heard when that movie first came out, or when Grindhouse first came out. Uh, that it, why is Tarantino putting all these scenes with people talking in them? And, I think at times it does seem a little overindulgent, if I was to be honest. Um, kind of I don't really want to say that Tarantino was showing off, but I can see that some people probably would have thought, "Oh, he's just showing off all his movie knowledge by having the girls, especially that second group of girls, sitting around talking about being gearheads, and Kim and Zoe were talking about being gearheads, and watching the Pretty in Pink stuff." But because they're gearheads, they were watching, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, um, and Vanishing Point, and all of that. And that is the main reason that Zoe wants to do ship's mast on a white Challenger, because that is the car from Vanishing Point. And I love my car movies too. And that's probably why I kind of appreciated that back and forth a little more than somebody that's not really deeply into the car movies. Um, I had never seen Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, and Steve got it for me on a 2-pack with Race with the Devil, which both movies have Peter Fonda on them. And I don't think I had seen Race with the Devil either, and, like, that is an amazing movie. I talked about that, I believe on the Vicious Vacation stream, that, old Curly Jaws was on with me. Yeah, Terrence, I think you're right. So, CK, you would be surprised how many YouTube hits that heading would get. Uh, no, I don't think you're kidding. Uh Wes, you said, "No, man, I'm giving Dana all this good content ideas, and she thinks I'm kidding." No, I think the Poopy Avati thing is good, but I don't know. Even you guys don't have like a big pile of poopy as one of the headings for your streams. Yeah, House on Straw Hill. Yeah, that was the one. Ban the sadist videos. I do believe, I think Steve has House on Straw Hill. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. I think Steve thinks it too. Jungle Julie was sexy as hell. Well, whatever. The bitchy side of her kind of negated any of that. I don't know if that's Uncle Bill chiming in under Uncle Rat, or that's what Uncle Rat thinks. Pretty sure he just cast her because she's Sidney Poitier's daughter. She couldn't act for shit. She wasn't that. Yeah, she wasn't that good. Darky said JJ is as cool as Mia Wallace. I would beg to differ with that. John, you say it was filmed probably in California. I guess parts of Knoxville could look that way, but doubtful. Yes, that's right, John. You say, my guess is that because Quentin is from Knoxville, he was like, what's a random Tennessee town? And thought of Lebanon. Darren, you say, I was saying to Dirk that I don't understand why more YouTubers don't cover the video nasty subject. I did one, a while back, and I would like to revisit them again, maybe on a little bit smaller scale than I first did. Um, but yeah, that's yeah, I don't know why more people don't cover video nasties. Dirk, you say Tarantino is the best with dialogue, in my opinion. Oh, awesome, Dirk. I'll definitely want to catch yours. Okay. So we'll talk a little bit more about Death Proof, but y'all, feel free to put whatever in the chat. But Death Proof, and I was kind of shocked at some of the, well, X-Ray had all out hatred for it. But um Darren seems to be the most on the same track as me, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind that you guys have differences of opinion on Death Proof. But I really don't, like I said, I can't pinpoint one thing that really makes this movie stand out for me. It just it was, for me, it was like being on a roller coaster ride. And me, I love roller coasters. And again, when I was rewatching it last night in preparation for the stream, I was again, it hit me how amazingly fun this movie was. And I know you guys were all, you know, you wanted Kurt to kill all them bitches, but um I just got a real sense of satisfaction that the second group of girls were able to successfully beat the living shit out of Kurt Russell's character. And they weren't playing any games. He messed with the wrong girls. He took the others out pretty easily, but these girls weren't just going to lie down and take it. They weren't going to lie down and die. They were going to fight back. And some of you might be thinking, well, yeah, but like the character of Kim, she was a tough badass anyway. Zoe's character was a stunt person, and I believe the Kim character was more along those lines, weapons and stunts and different things. Um, I actually like the inclusion of the stuff to do with the car films. Um, I actually, way back when, Jenny and I were doing the Seductive Poison podcast, um, we did a show just on car movies. Or I may have done it by myself if she couldn't be with me. I can't. It's awful. I can't remember at this point. But scroll down here. John, you say Hollywood always thinks they can pull a fast one on locations like that, but living in the South, it's easy to tell what's real. Exactly. Um, Uncle Rad says the car stunts are amazing. Kurt Russell is great. The idea itself is good. The problem to me is the dialogue and the editing. The pacing during the first half is god awful. Well, she said a lot of people had issues with that because that would never happen for real. What, that they would beat the living shit out of Kurt Russell? Well, I think you underestimate some women, Wes. Hi, now. In real life, they'd all sit there and cry. Oh, well, they did do a little crying, especially when they thought Zoe's character was dead. Dirk, you say you get the best of both worlds. That man kills the first group and gets his in the end. Just wish Uncle Julia's group had survived. Nah, I was like, that was. But wouldn't you guys agree that that was a cool ass death for all of those girls? Um, that was really cool. And then we get those cool ass deaths, and then we get to see the second group of girls beat the shit out of Kurt Russell and get revenge. Darky says Zoe Bell is the only badass of all them bitches. Uh, John, you say poor Kurt was just being friendly and trying to play bumper cars, and then they fired a gun at him. They had road rage. Oh man. I think you've seen a whole different film, John. No, I'm kidding. Uncle Rad, you say, hey Dana, Uncle Bill told me he wants to be on the one you do, Inglorious Bastards. Okay, that one may be coming up either next or just after that. Um, so yeah, you tell Uncle Bill if he wants to be on there, he can certainly be on there. Johnny say if that was Captain Ron there, they wouldn't have fucked with him. X-ray say only women from the first group I liked were Rose McGowan and that Italian-y looking chick. Yeah, Rose McGowan, people can say what they will about Rose McGowan nowadays. Steve has said his fair share of things, but I think she was good in the movie. Actually, you say also the black chick in the second group was awful. Tarantino made the most annoying black women in cinema for Death Proof. I don't know. I liked Kim. I, I don't know. I liked the interaction, especially between her and Zoe Bell. Yeah, Darren, you gotta love that lap dancing scene. Yeah, I think I think Steve, if I remember correctly, I think he kidded me at the time because when we started talking about going to Austin, Texas, um, I think he said, "Are you gonna do like a lap dance for me while we're in Austin?" And I think I told him I would, but then I was like, "You know, I wasn't gonna do anything like that. I'm not sexy enough to be doing anything like that." Johnny said, "I guess this is his closest thing to a slasher he'll ever do." Yeah, probably so. X-ray, you say, "I wish he could make something akin to From Dusk Till Dawn." So we've had a lot of different viewpoints on especially the second film. But we had a good discussion on the first film, Kill Bill Volume 2. Um, so actually so I can tell Uncle Rad so he can tell Uncle Bill if I am indeed going to be covering Glorious Bastards next, or if it will be the time after that. So allow me to check up on this here. Maybe. Okay, so here we go. So actually, yes, Uncle Rad, you can tell Uncle Bill that I will be covering Inglorious Bastards and Django Unchained for the next There's Something About Tarantino. So Uncle Rad, if Uncle Bill wants to be on there, I tell him to show up next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will put the link in the chat and he can join me on the stream. I would love to have him. So I went on for about an hour and 10 minutes, which is generally, I like to keep these things around an hour. So as not to bore you guys too much. But is there anything anybody wants to bring up about either of the two movies we've talked about tonight, or suggestions for other streams, other directors to cover? Wes, I am seriously thinking of the Poopy Avati. And I hope that Wes isn't pulling my leg and I get on here and talk about Poopy and people laugh at me and say it's not Poopy, it's Pupy or something else. So if anybody has any directors that they would like me to cover, that maybe you haven't seen covered anywhere else, and I would be glad to look into it and see how many of the movies I can get my hands on or my eyeballs on to actually watch. And like I said, we had quite a few people in and out. We still got 9 people in here right now. So I must have not bored too many people. X-ray, you say Terry Gillum and Alex Cox. I think I'm familiar with Terry Gillum, but I don't know about Alex Cox. Can you name some movies that Alex Cox has done? Maybe I'm just not thinking. Darren says, although Lado. X-ray, you say Alex Cox did Repo Man and Sid and Nancy. All right. Okay. Well, that might be an interesting one. Aldo Lato. Yeah, that's why Terry Gilliam was familiar. Monty Python, Time Bandits, 12 Monkeys. So those are, yeah, those are definitely some good ones. Oh, we got more X-rays saying Renee Cordova. Dirk is saying S. Craig Zoller. X-ray, you say you guarantee Steve has a sizable Cordova collection. Jeez Louise, guys, talking about Steve here. He got the Infernal Rapist in and he was watching. I was like, holy cow. You know, but I think he's sorry he spent the money on it now. A little too late, though, to be thinking about that now. And he may have a X-ray. Are you laughing about the Infernal Rapist? I swear to you, that was the title of it. Jeez. Oh, man. So, Dana's eyes when she said Infernal Rapist. Oh man. I would be, even if I watch those types of films, I think I'd be afraid to tell people I was watching films with rape in the title. But that's that's Steve for you. Dirk, you say Zoller did Bone Tomahawk, Dragged Across Concrete, and Brawl in Cell Block 99. I think Bone Tomahawk's the only one I'm kind of familiar with, but the others sound intriguing. Pretty much, Darren. It is a Mexican slasher. Um, but I don't know why they couldn't have called it something other than Infernal Rapist. John, you say Bone Tomahawk is awesome. So, guys, I think I'm going to stay on here till about 9:20, and then I'm going to call it a night. Um, and so Don Coscarelli, that is a very good choice, John. I did do a Phantasm retrospective, but yeah. Yeah, I will definitely, there's a lot of Coscarelli films I'd like to go back and rewatch, and that would give me an excuse to do so. Not that you need an excuse per se, but um, Dirk says, hell yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate all these suggestions. Yeah, Darren says, John, that's a good one. Yeah. Um, I guess I hadn't even thought of, I don't know why I hadn't thought of doing a Don Coscarelli series of streams on his movies and only focus on the Phantasm ones. Dougie said, check out Zoller. He's highly underrated. I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to look into his work. I'm wondering if Uncle Rad checked out. He hasn't been saying much lately. I want Uncle Bill to get his ass in here for the My Bloody Valentine watch along. I think that'd be fun. I'd like to get a bunch of people, if I could. Um, for some of these movies, I just think that they scream to have several people in here, and My Bloody Valentine would be one. Not because I think it's a bad movie, I just think it would be entertaining to have several people in here on Saturday night to join me as we watch this movie. I did kind of do a Toby Hooper one a long time ago. It says if you do, John, you say if you do a Toby Hooper one, you got a lot of good and a lot of real bad. Um, you could talk about the toolbox murders remake. Oh Lord. Um, but of course, I don't want to step on Dead Pitt's toes or Uncle Bill's toes because I did. Didn't Uncle Bill do kind of here in the last few months? Didn't he do a hanging with Mr. Hooper where he talked about Toby Hooper stuff? I just don't want anybody to feel like I'm copying them. Darren, you say, Dana, have you thought about doing certain actors, actresses retrospectives? I've done, kind of a handful, maybe, or maybe not that many, but I did do a Jamie Lee Curtis one. Um, I guess not a complete retrospective, but it was on her horror stuff, I think. Actually, you said Bone Tomahawk had one of the most wince-inducing kills I've seen in a movie. People who watched it know what I'm talking about. That's intriguing too. Darren, you say I would put forward maybe a David Hess one. Cool, yeah, because David Hess was not only an actor, but he was a director as well. Darky said I did a top five Hooper stream. It doesn't matter, Dana. Johnny said, "Yeah, you're right. He did that top five. Forgot about that." Johnny said Brian Yuzna would be an odd one. Lots of talk about Screaming Mad George. Yeah, let me write that down. What about Stuart Gordon? What would you, since you brought up Brian Yuzna, John? What would y'all think about Stuart Gordon? Yep, X-Ray said it. Stuart Gordon. Something else that just came into my mind was maybe a retrospective on some of the big special effects guys. Not only Tom Savini, but some of the ones that people don't think about as much, like Tom Sullivan, who did the Evil Dead stuff early on. K and D. Um, that was weird. Okay. That that was kind of creepy, guys. I had the drawer open because I took this sheet of paper out there and was writing stuff on it, and then it just slid closed by itself. I'm telling you, our house is haunted here. Um, let's see. Um, Johnny say, yeah, I do that because my God, I don't want to puke thinking about fucking society. That may be so damn gross, and it takes a lot for me to say that. Oh man. X-ray say, how about movies about witchcraft and folk horror? There's an idea too, because there's a reason to my madness, guys. And it's not just so y'all will give me ideas to do things on. The main reason I ask for y'all's opinion is because I want to know what people want to see. I want to know what people want to see other people talk about. And so that is really the prime reason why I ask you guys this stuff periodically. Actually, you say, I'm not a fan of Society, but I feel it's a movie everyone should watch at least once. Feels almost like Louis Buñuel made an 80s splatter film. I think Steve likes Society. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought he did. I think it's kind of goofy at times, a little maybe too goofy, but it's okay. Um, so, guys, it is almost like I went past a little bit past what I said I was. But thank you guys for all the different ideas that you've thrown out there. I'm putting them all down on paper, so hopefully I won't forget them. And now we got 11 people in here, but this gal is going to have to skedaddle on out of here for the night because I'm still kind of wiped out. Like I said, I feel like I'm getting a cold. Either it's allergy sinuses or I'm trying to get a cold, one of the two. Um, so I think I'm going to relax a little bit, try to catch some Z's, and hopefully be ready to start my work day again tomorrow. The good thing is it's almost Friday and I get off a little bit earlier on Fridays for the most part. Um, you have a good night too, Darren. Later, John. And with that being said, I am going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.